Welcome everybody. It's your buddy Jabba the Griffin at the end of probably the longest day of all time, and I'm gonna finish up by recording Pokology versus Sprinkles. This is CALLOUS Invitational play-ins, first round. I'm sure everyone's familiar with these two players. Pokology is known for uh, being a little bit crazy in the builder, as one would say, and Sprinkles is always Sprinkles. And if I know Sprinkles, there's going to be a Charizard here. There's going to be an Aerodactyl. That's the kind of guy he is. So let's just jump into this one. Obviously, the winner of this will go to the round of 8, and only 2 people make it through. I forget which bracket this is, and I don't feel like pulling it up. It's either Magma or Aqua, and I just doesn't matter. Day's been long enough. Just, just know it's one of them. So here's the lead matchup, and Poco, as I just said, not the most conventional guy, leads off with a Moltres. Um, not really good into a lot of the most common leads unless you're, shout out Zach Peasy. I'm sure he didn't expect to get shouted out in a CALLOUS Invitational Plains game, but he's the kind of guy that might lead band fighting Moltres to clip the T-Tar. I'm doubtful that's what this is, but obviously Sprinkles has the advantage here, so Poco's got to switch out, assuming he might be facing down a band. It doesn't even need to be banned. It can just be one of those DD leads. Not super common, but common enough where you probably just got to switch out to your water here. Let me make sure I get this slow. Uh, let's start this. He protects, and Sprinkles clicks Fire Blast, which burns 2 PP from the pressure. Uh, he was obviously expecting the switch to Skarmory, I guess. I don't know. That seems to not be the best click in the world. Not something I would recommend, but let's just keep going through this game and see what happens next. And I guess he figured, since he kind of showed he's mixed ments, he's liable to be Wisp there, so Regice was his Wisp target. He'll probably T-bolting the Milo into the Toxic is a long-term losing plan. Um, Obviously, you don't want to T-wave it for Marvel scale. Poco with the Moltres Milo squad. Okay, well, he did have a he did actually have a Skarm in the back, so there, if that wasn't protect Moltres, I guess there's a world where you catch it. But either way, Sprinkles gets the Snorlax in, and focus punches the Skarm switch. This is gonna be so it'll probably be a layer trade for the focus punch, and then we'll kind of see what Poco wants to do with that after he gets his layer up. I know this team from Sprinkles. This is a Jumpy squad. It's pretty good. Tough to pilot. I think it made another appearance in another set. I say Lax's set might have been whoever played Sadly. I already forget. It's only been a few hours. It's boomer brain for you. But yeah, so we'll see we'll see the trade here for the layer for the focus punch damage, and then Poco will have his choice of what to do. He didn't take the free layer, but he got a great roar in, so he will still get his layer. Um, and with that miss, he'll get 2. That's I'm pretty sure that's agility. Yeah, I mean, not pretty sure. I'm certain that's agility Metagross. And showing the slide, I don't know if I like showing the slide right there, because that's something you can catch the Moltres with later, and when you just show it, I mean, obviously he predicted the Moltres to come in, but I don't know. I don't like it that early, but and here we go, more Poco greatness. He brings the Steelix. Shout out Ugly Duckling, who's super retired. Sprinkles opting to trade damage on probably his best late game sweeper. Although with the Milo there, that's never pushing through. That Milo is going to be tough to break for Sprinkles, especially the way he's playing it. It's at 100. He let it get the toxic on the Regice, so it's going to be tough to kill it. But he will at least get a layer here. Poco might just hard Moltres. No, you just go Skarmory. So that's what Sprinkles expected. He was in the same boat. I think even if you expect the Moltres, I think you take your layer. I don't think toxic on it is worth that much. Clearly he valued it quite a bit. I think while the lax is sitting at 100%, I'm not sure how much I value toxicing it, but it's fine because it worked out. He'll get his layer here. I can't see a world where this is taunt, teched, roar spikes. But on the other end, Sprinkles is going to have to eat some layers here too, and Poco might get the full layer spread. So we'll see the spikes exchange go down. Actually skip past this because this is just going to keep going like that. So here, I guess Poco probably roars on the last layer. He's got some good targets. If the lax comes out or the meta comes out, and Regice too, anything that's grounded obviously would be a great pull. The Mence would be an absolutely terrible pull, and really might set Poco back a little bit, because Mence is going to have a great depending on how well Sprinkles can predict the switch in, Mence will be great. So it does pull Regice, who eats the 3 layers, eats some toxic damage. The protect comes through, so it eats even more. This does look, and he goes hard Claydol. I was gonna say it looks a little rough, and that's a huge play from Sprinkles. Poco is a little rough into Regice. I think Skarmory almost kind of did its job a little bit. I'm thinking, maybe just roar again, because you're only going to take 50-ish from the T-bolt, and so then you can protect it off again, and you don't risk this exact scenario happening, which is switching your Claydol on Ice Beam. That's huge. It was able to survive, so he will be able to pull a spin off if he wants. Unless that's a Gengar. I just used this team last night or the other day, and I completely forget if that last is a Gengar or not, which is the saddest thing in the world. It might be an arrow. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's been a long day. Played some terrible golf. Lost some Pokemon matches, and he does Psychic expecting that to be a Gar, and the what the hell are you people doing? The chat box is cut off a little bit. What Omega Frog said, the hell are you people doing? Um, yeah, tossing the clay doll like that into this matchup is not great for Poco. Um, so now he's very clearly behind. Regice is going to take 25% from the tox on this protect. So, oh no, he's dead after the protect. So he Sprinkles opts to save the Regice for fodder, Spike's fodder. Pogo clicks drill pack. Here comes another wasted. No, he was able to click Dragon Claw on the protect. So, he's still at 6 fire blasts. Poco should probably just go Milo, but he didn't. He stayed in and he roared, and Sprinkles, for some ungodly reason, clicked Dragon Claw. I know why he clicked Dragon Claw. He expected Moltres, but it's funny, because it obviously is a little bit of a 50-50, but not really 50-50, but because he should have just went Milo, but it is funny to laugh at Sprinkles when he gets them wrong. And I'm sure everybody that's currently watching this can agree that when Sprinkles gets things wrong, it's funny to laugh at him. So this looks like he's about to get his spin off, and he does. So Sprinkles is just way ahead. The Regice isn't. I mean, it's still dead upon switching. It just. Oh, that was gonna be the Milo was gonna be such a problem, and for one, the Claydoll's slower. This thing's got some speed in it. I guess that's Poco for you. Even when he brings shit like Milo, it's got something's a little wrong with it. In this case, it was faster than the clay doll, which I don't think is min speed, so it has some investment. But he gets the boom off. I don't think the crit mattered, but even if it did, it didn't, because it would be cleaned up by the Salamence. So Sprinkles is just way ahead. I if I'm looking at win cons for Poco, I'm struggling to see one. The Moltres is strong here, but without layers on the lax, he can get them back up. To be fair, but with the doll at 100%, it's just gonna be spun away again. So I don't know. I'm struggling to see a world in which Poco can pull it out from this situation. But we'll see what he can do. And last is T-Tar. Comes in on the spikes. I think mix break killed from 82. I want to say that kills. From because we saw like UD Tar lead into ban Tar a lot today, and it always did like 87. So I think it clears. I think it because of that, Poco might want to just consider going hard Moltres, but I'm not sure it matters at this point. He could always be EV to eat, and if he can clean it, there's a world where Moltres can win. Maybe the world exists. It does eat, but doesn't kill back, so that's pretty rough. I normally would run a calc here just to see what that's normally. Oh, that's. I guess why not? Play for the choke. That's what they always say, which is funny to see the focusing for no reason. See, now we're in a bit of a scary position, actually. Kind of, not really, because he just. Let's see, what do you sack? You probably sack the Regice here, right? The Regice is never making any movement. and you go lax. I don't know. It's a little tighter than it looks like. But I still think I still think Sprinkles should win this pretty handily. Yeah, he does. He does sack the Regice, and then he's gonna go lax here. Um, I don't know. He might wisp here. Um, I know inherently Sprinkles is gonna want to focus punch again. So this is Peck. Um, I don't know. This is a little tough. I think you just slam here if you're Sprinkles. You slam, and if you catch he switches to Skarmory, catches Skarmory. That's fine. Um, Nothing wrong with that. And this is we almost got a situation where last mon Metagross, kind of always wins. But we'll see. He does slam. He clicks the right move there. Because of that, I think there's almost a world in which Poco does go Skarmory here. So maybe no, he clicks flamethrower. Wispless, I guess that's the only explanation I can think of for why you would ever click flamethrower instead of doing anything else. So anyway, the Skarm back here. Um, not sure I like the X. I don't think that really. I would consider maybe setting a. I would maybe set up a layer. Sprinkles goes Metagross, which makes also very little progress, but at least that crit was pretty nice for him. I don't know. Sprinkles looks like he's just gonna run this one down now, because of that crit was enough to kind of push through. Yeah, he clicks slide, flinch, doesn't matter at this point. He can't go if you just keep sliding. He can't go. Well, he could slide into the Steelix, take your huge chunk, and then switch in Moltres on the EQ, and then click flamethrower. I think that's better than what he's been doing, honestly. If I'm thinking about it, you're gonna take that chunk. You keep this Skarmory healthy. You go Steelix on the rock slide. Go Moltres on the EQ, and then you throw off a flamethrower. Flamethrower claims from that point, or comes very close to claiming. Why not? No, it claims. It just full claims. Yeah, I think that was the way better line. And now he's kind of in a situation where I think he just loses. So he's gonna click declaw here, and then he's gonna click declaw again, and then the Moltres is gonna come in. It's gonna get declawed, which is enough to put it in a range for sand, which did a lot. I don't think I've ever seen a Moltres take that much from a declaw. And then Metagross just cleans up, clicks EQ twice. He protected, which has like no effect on the end game. He roared. Okay. He self-destructed. He's got EQ again, and that was enough. That roll was enough. That actually got a little dangerous at the end because say he lives to get the roar off, and now you're in a situation where No, this was always too healthy. Never mind. So Sprinkles takes game one. Pretty straightforward game. I would say it was a little sloppy on both ends. I think Poco just, I don't know. He should have taken that spin turn. I guess Sprinkles team maybe signals Gar, but after you take that ice beam from Regice, you're in a situation where if he's Gar, you lose anyway. Because it comes in and you're just never going to get another chance. So you almost have to play for, blockless. And you have to, just go, well, I hope. If that happened, maybe there's a chance. I still don't see it. I think this Moltres matchup was a little bit of absurd, but he never really took advantage of it. He never got the Moltres in on the Skarm, never got it in on the Metagross. Never switched it in when the Metagross was going to EQ Steelix, and he just wasn't able to utilize it into this matchup. So that's game one, and game two. Let's jump right into this one. We have the classic T-Tar Skarmory lead matchup. The way this goes is usually dependent on the T-Tar. The Skarmory, when it's leading, is always just going to take its one layer no matter what. Even if it has to eat a Fire Blast, it just hopes it doesn't, or hopes it dodges. And if it dodges, usually that's a very good start for the Skarm user. Obviously, Sprinkles, if you've done any scouting on him, which Poco surely has not, likes to lead these teams that have DD Tar. So turn one, they'll click DD on the spikes, and then they'll Rock Slide is usually how that goes. Usually puts them a little bit behind, but if some nonsense happens, they can it can kind of snowball from there. And that's exactly what we see here. So we'll see the slide and see there right into the pert. The way I've seen Sprinkles play this before, he's just going to take the damage on the pert, which is exactly what it does. It doesn't, funnily enough, the EQ does enough to 2-hit kill, and not enough to put it in a torrent range, which would have killed the T-Tar. So now Sprinkles will be able to fire off another attack. We'll see if this is protect pump. It took 46, so it's offensive. It could be offensive protect. It's probably not. Here, look, you can see trainer orange joint. I was on the golf course at this time, shanking them. So he does EQ again, and Poco goes hard Skarm. Do we get it? Yep, he gets the flinch. That's pretty huge, because now it's gonna take, if it gets this one off, so that's HP ground. So that's YOLO Skarm. I think. I mean, I would have expected the +1 to do more if that was full yellow. But anyway, so he gets 92% on the Skarm, and 50% on the Swampert, in exchange for one layer. That's a trade I think any DD Tar lead team is gonna take, because usually that signals arrow in the back. And here it is, called it, obviously. There's no world in which round one of play-ins, Sprinkles does not roll up with a Zard. But say what you will about Poco, but he brought the Kingdra, and that's really good into the Zard arrow shit that Sprinkles brings. But I know he runs a more balancy version of the team, and we'll see on this next switch in if that's what it is, and that's exactly what it is. The more balancy version that has a Blissey on it, and so that's pretty huge. That's gonna hard wall the Kingdra all day. Poco out to Metagross. He has a very blue team. Blue team. And so, this, I don't know, we'll see what happens here. Clear mash. Did a lot to the Skarm. So it must be banned. That's banned. And it did get the up. And Sprinkles, instead of roaring the upped, figures, let me just get my layers, let it kill me, and then I'll go Zard afterwards. Is that the best play in the world? I don't know. Maybe. So he does get the kill, and then he does go to the Zard, and he subs. He doesn't just click flamethrower. He's not a clicker. Sprinkles. He's goated. He would never just click. I can't imagine Focus Punch is gonna do all that much damage. So, but it'll do enough to the point where, see, why would you rain dance? I just don't get it. I see absolutely no reason to rain dance there. Instead of just clearing the sub, you're gonna let it Focus Punch you too. Let's see the Focus Punch damage, 30%. That means you're taking another one after this. And he's just gonna go Blissey, and then your Kingdra is gonna be useless after that. It's not even gonna be able to check Zard anymore. I have no explanation for why you would ever rain dance there. I just don't get it. I think that was a bad play, and I think it sets them so far behind that it's seriously going to be hard to win from here. We obviously don't know the two last yet, and nobody in chat, I bet, could ever predict what the last two are unless this is a known team, which I would not be shocked if this is something he's brought before in a Mushi league. But here we go. He's going to get another Focus Punch off after the Surf breaks his sub, and then he's going to go hard Blissey, and I mean, Poco can double to Gross, which is what he does. But look, it takes that chunk. If only Sprinkles was real, risk the entire win con just to flex and prove you are great. But honestly, from here, he might Rock Slide if he's got it to try and get the predicted switch in though. I gotta imagine, I would hope there's some form of water, like a Swampert, that just comes in, and then it's really not a problem from that point. It's a Gross, which works just as well. And he did slide to try and catch the Zard, and that's really bad for Poco. And then there's the Kingdra. The Kingdra's dead. It eats the mash. At 31, and we saw how much it took from the +1 EQ, right? It took, let's go back up. It took like 47 or something, 46. You ever just EQ? Probably, right? It doesn't kill, but Pump missed, so it doesn't matter. Pump would not have killed. But at this point, I don't think Sprinkles really cared. I think he and he's gonna hard back to Zard here probably, and that's what. Oh no, he mashes. Ooh, great mash. That's a really good mash. Good job, Sprinkles. I gotta give him that one. Predicted the double, and so just mashed whatever was gonna come in, and here it was Gengar, and so he catches the Gengar with the mash, and this game is over for the most part. And he he just forfeited because he knows it too. We don't get the pleasure of seeing the last, unfortunately. And Sprinkles wins in pretty competent fashion, let's call it. I think game one was a little sloppy. I think both of them could have played better. I think game two, I think they, I think Sprinkles played it well, and I think Poco made some all right plays. That flinch early was big. The pump miss was big, but he put himself in that kind of tight spot by doing that absolutely nonsensical rain dance play, and took that extra chip on the Kingdra that uh, I don't even know if it mattered because he was always going to struggle to break the Blissey. Um, he would have needed to, assuming this was Boomgar, he would have needed to get the Gar in earlier. Maybe that's something that comes in on the Skarm at some point. Instead of just slamming mash in, you get the Gar in, and then maybe if you're Boom, you try to Boom the Blissey. Um, that's probably the only way he wins this matchup. But he didn't play to that at all. So I don't know if it was even a move on the Gengar. You would hope on this team that it is, but maybe he's just like, I'll rely on him leaving, Blissey in on my off pert or on my CB gross. If that's the strat, it's not a great one, but either way, sorry I don't have my typical job of the Griffin energy. This was a more low key replay watch, with my nice smooth dulcet tones. This is something you fall asleep to because it is boring. So that's half of it. But thanks for sticking around, watching for me. We'll see Sprinkles in round 2 against Voyager. I don't know. Callous gonna be mad at me because I don't even know the stupid brackets. Just check the channel. You can find out. And Godspeed, everyone.